Hi, David Whitney here, and welcome to this video tutorial on building speed. This is a video response to one of my subscribers, Fever Perth 1. It's Dave J from Perth in West Australia. Now Dave wanted to know how he builds up speed in his playing. It's a really good question because everyone's different, right? And everyone's at a different stage of playing, and it's hard to say specifically what one player needs to increase their speed, what another player needs to increase their speed. But in general, the most helpful aspect that you can introduce for improving speed is analysis. Right? You have to learn to analyze what you play and find what it is that limits your speed in the first place. Right? If you're just beginning, then it's pretty safe to say that your dexterity, just your manual dexterity, the ability of your muscles to control the movements in your fingers, and to synchronize between your left and right hand, I guess you could safely say that that is the big limiting factor. But once you start to get your head around it and you start to get your dexterity between your fingers happening, then you have to start looking at bottlenecks and looking for bottlenecks in your playing. Now, when I say a bottleneck, I'm really talking about something in your playing that you find difficult. Okay, and the real trick to development is to always focus on the things that you can't do well, not the things you can do well. Okay, if you have a limitation here and something that you're better at, and you just work on the thing you're better at, well, no matter what you do, when you come to that point in your playing where you have to do this limiting thing, your speed will drop down. You have no choice. So what you have to do is you have to constantly work on everything you're playing. And when something becomes a limitation, you have to focus heavily on it. Okay, that would be my first bit of advice. Now, I'll give you an example of a player who did exactly that. You take Paul Gilbert. All right, Paul Gilbert is known for his picking, his skill as an alternate picker on the guitar. And he's a great player, Paul Gilbert, no doubt about it. Very competent individual. Now, in one of Paul's videos, Paul talks about an exercise he developed for himself. And I've done this lots. I've developed my own exercises to target the problems. Well, Paul said he had a problem going from string to string, like when you jump from one string to the next, in this case the D to the G string. So he developed little licks where he would be jumping from string to string. And of course, that little jump you would focus more intensely on. And whatever. So so he would develop an exercise that would work for that. Now, that was Paul being an analyst and analysing his own playing and saying, this is my weak point, this is my weak spot. Everybody's got different weaknesses in their playing, and I can't say that this is the exercise that will make you fast, or this is the, because I really don't know what your limitation is. And you have to be the one to figure that out for yourself. And once you understand your own playing, once you understand your own inbuilt limitations, and once you get your head around how you can really focus on those and develop those and break out of your limitations, then you will naturally advance your speed and your technique. Now, arrangement of notes is a very important part. I think it's one of these things that gets overlooked a lot. And I did a video here the other day on Jason Becker arpeggios. Jason, he arranges things in a way that make it much easier to play them fast. Okay, and it's very important because you can tell that he's really looked at it carefully and gone, what are the limiting factors in playing this quick? And he's gone through and he's found the best scenarios for how to play it that would allow him to play fast. And this is, when you look at that, and I can see what he's done, I can see how he has taken that approach and it's very common sense, yeah, and it's a very grounded approach to playing. He's not just playing something and going, well, I'm just going to have to learn to play that faster. It's like, okay, well, maybe I'm not playing that as well as I'm not being as clever about the way I play it as I could be. I'm not being as thoughtful. And you know, it's one of these new aspects for me, is to analyze what I play for more efficiency, okay, for more economy. Now, if you want to look at someone who plays with an incredibly high level of economy, type in Brett Garcia. Okay, Brett is B-R-E-T-T and Garcia is G-A-R-S-E-D, Garcia. Brett Garcia, he's an Australian guy, right? And you listen to Brett play and you listen to the absolute plethora of notes that just fly off the guitar neck, and you have a look, the guy's hardly even moving. I mean, it's like almost wrong how much is coming off the guitar and how little he's doing. And then you compare it to someone who's, you know, really shredding and hands are flying all over the place, and you go, well, you know what, Brett Garcia is smart, and the you know, the messy, you know, the opposite to that you can see if you look for it on YouTube. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but I've seen lots of it. Economy, you know, thoughtful, creative use of notes that allow for playing. And I've been doing it more and more myself to, you know, to try to build speed without the effort required to play quick. So anyway, obviously, the more heavily you rely on one technique to do everything, the more difficult it becomes to be fast. You know, if all you do is alternate pick, for example, then it's going to be very difficult to do every kind of thing fast. You'll tend to box yourself into things that are more related, that are better partners, make better partnerships with alternate picking. For example, the reason sweep picking became so popular is because the ability to alternate pick across your guitar neck using one string, it's, you know, you hit a wall. You're doing so much moving that you hit a wall, and so sweep picking, you don't have that limitation, right? You don't have that limitation of all that movement. So by changing the technique, something that was difficult became easy. What's another example? Okay, the use of tapping, you know, of tapping notes on your guitar neck has become, you know, has arisen because it allows you to do something that with a pick would be incredibly difficult to do, right? So forget about the pick. You know, use your finger to tap. What else? I mean, technique is and arrangement are really the keys, and, you know, analysis are the three keys to developing your speed. So anyway, take a good look at what you play and how you play, and try to think about what you need to do to make it flow better. Okay. Hours that you spend on the guitar make a big difference. The more hours you put on your guitar, focusing intently on what you're doing, the more, you know, the quicker you will develop. Okay. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope this has been a help. I guess it wasn't what you expected, but then that's what you can expect from me anyway. And good luck with your playing, and I'll see you next time.